Welcome back to the T.O.D project. I always have to double check. I honestly forgot what episode we are recording. Marselis, could you help me out? What episode are we recording today?
I think this is 28.
Oh, hell, 28, number of wealth.
I'm looking it up. I wasn't prepared to look this up. This is episode 28. Yes, it is. Welcome back to the T.O.D project, episode 28. Anyways, first off, I want to say something. Just a little, we don't do ads on this podcast. So I want to tell you guys up front, we are doing this from our genuine hearts. We aren't getting paid for this. We have no sponsorships, no ads for this. We want to supply value to you and to people that we think will benefit from the information that we're providing. So all we ask is for you to just, tell a friend that you think would, obviously after hearing this, I'm not going to say share it right now before you've even heard any of the content. But if you hear this, you like it, share it with a friend that you think would benefit from it. That's all we're asking. We want to be as genuine as possible. But we don't want to hide anything for the people that are listening. That's a little suspect. So just had to get that out of the way. Anyways, we have an amazing guest on today, a person that I know Marselis and I have been wanting to reconnect with ever since we started. We started the podcast. He was one of the people that was in the conversation to have on right away. But I guess the stars aligned. We're having him on for episode 28. So this is a long time overdue. But anyways, let's get into it. You guys heard him talk a little bit already. And obviously, if you're viewing it on YouTube, you can see this man's beautiful face. But we have my good friend and our good friend, Hunter McManus on. Hunter, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, dude. It's a beautiful day today. I was very, very happy this morning. I woke up. I missed the sunrise this morning, but I still just woke up with a lot of good energy. So it was very nice. Very good day. How are you guys?
Doing real fucking good.
I'm feeling phenomenal. I'm feeling fantastic. I feel like I can fly.
You gotta say it. You gotta say it, Marselis. You gotta say it.
What? I believe I can fly.
Okay.
I'm feeling good and getting better. Gonna smile no matter the weather.
Yeah, 100%.
I got drop the bars on the one time.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I do miss those morning messages from you that literally just give me flashbacks. Just wake up and I'm like, Marcellus Scott already up before me. Let's go.
Oh man,
shit, bro. How's life been, Hunter? It's been a while. You're in Milwaukee, obviously, still, right? With your girlfriend?
Yeah. I got a girlfriend. I got a dog. I was telling you before we started the podcast, I got a new job as a behavioral therapist. So I've just been working on getting certified for that, playing a lot of soccer, trading here and there, putting most of my focus into cryptos. Lots of reading. It's really funny. I'm reading a book right now called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. But
I feel left out.
You're super left out. Oh, you're unbelievably left out because that book is phenomenal. But it's funny because I work with a kid who's 9 years old, and he likes it when I read to him. And I read that book because he likes the tactile feedback of how big the book is. But then he'll sit there and I'll have him. So I'll go through, I'll be reading, and then all of a sudden I'll stop and have him finish a sentence, and he's following along, listening, knows when to turn the page for me. It is honestly insane. So I was telling his parents, I'm gonna have to start bringing astrophysics books up in here. I gotta start bringing chemistry books. We got to get some Goodwill Hunting stuff going on here because they are geniuses. Kids with autism are straight geniuses, dude.
It's something that's always fascinated me. We're getting a little feedback on your end. By the way, we're getting a little side echo, but that's okay. It'll fix itself, I think. That's something that's always. It's something that's always.
Is it still going?
I think we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Okay. That's something that's always interested me. I don't really know how other way to say it, so I'll say it. Kids with disabilities in one area of their senses have enhanced ability in their other senses to kind of I guess counteract with that. Maybe I don't know how to phrase that. You get what I'm saying though. You see,
no doubt, dude. They're overstimulated. So you know how me and you, we can touch, we hear, we have the five senses. With kids with autism, their senses are amplified. It's their whole entire nervous system is giving them constant feedback at all times. So that's why you see a lot of stemming. You see them do these rituals. I just watched Rain Man last night with Tom Cruise. It's about how he finds out his brother has autism, or he finds out he has a brother who has autism, and he goes through. They nailed it on the head, but a lot of these kids with autism, everything is giving them feedback, and their rituals that they do is what they do to defend themselves and protect themselves from unknown elements, because they're hyper. I mean, me and you can sit here and have a conversation. Someone turns on a vacuum, or like my dog was barking before we hopped on here. Me and you can just blow over that. I won't even think about it. But a kid with autism could completely throw them off, throw them into a whole different world. And it's honestly very interesting to see, because with a lot of kids, they're very smart. I work with a 2-year-old who's doing his ABCs, can write his ABCs, or he can count all the way up to like, I think 25, 26, and he starts like bouncing around between like 30, 40 and stuff. But he just turned 2 years old. So they're like super geniuses. And actually a lot of the smartest people in the world, like to ever exist, had some form of autism. From is Nikola Tesla. A lot of mathematicians, actually the mathematician from Good Will Hunting, that story was loosely based off of an autistic kid who was the janitor. And the way that it works is Japanese kids, or not, sorry, I was gonna get to some part about Japan in a second, but autistic kids are very directional. Like, think about, I don't want to, like, this kind of sounds disheartening, but like almost robotic. Like you put them down and you have them do one thing, and they get really, 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 really good at that. They're gonna do it better than any other human being could possibly do it. That's why you see like a lot of genius people. Oh, go ahead, Marselis.
No, I just dropped the ad lib, bro. I use rapping. Like we in the studio or something, making up a song.
I gotta get some headphones, dude. But it is very interesting, because actually Google has started hiring autistic kids, because they realize that the way autistic kids work is they need to understand why things are happening to them, and especially high functioning autistic people. They need to understand things in depth. So if they find something interesting, they will dive in until they have an understanding of it. Maybe not a mastery, but a complete understanding of it, where they could recite it to you. And sometimes it's very small things, like, you'll get some autistic kids that will repeat you a 5-minute ad lib from a movie that you've probably never heard of, but that just is ingrained in their brain. And they have this ability to just tunnel vision in ways that, me, you, we can't possibly do. But it's also comes with the fact that they're incredibly overstimulated and don't have the ability to socialize with other people. Like me and you are having a conversation right now. For a lot of kids with autism, it's very difficult for them to have these conversations and, maintain eye contact, continue following a coherent dialogue and everything. It's very difficult for them. But it also is incredible when you see them at work. It's inspiring, and it kind of makes you really analyze yourself, because autistic kids are exaggerated humans. That's like the best way for me to put it out. All their behaviors are like the same as ours, except theirs are just twice as exaggerated. They have the same feelings, they have similar emotions and everything, but everything is exaggerated. So when you see an autistic kid, getting worked up or getting excited about the smallest thing, it's very similar to us, except we just have this idea of normal that we base all of our actions and everything on. Those autistic kids or people with autism do not have that. And it's honestly beautiful, because life for them is both very difficult but very, very simple. And when I kind of messed up and said the Japanese kid, I meant in Japanese culture actually autistic kids operate very similar to ancient Japanese culture, where you specialize in one thing. And actually Jordan LeSavage, for some reason, he always used this quote, and he always would say it, jack of all trades, master of none. That's how a lot of people are. Well, for the autistic community, it's very different, because they are specialized in one specific area that lights their brain up. And it's almost like a symphony, like they're just in this dance, they're in this flow, and everything else is, they could care less. Whereas like, we like soccer, we like crypto, I like skateboarding, I like dogs. Like I have a bunch of different likes and dislikes, but sorry, I get off on a tangent when I start talking about children with autism. It just is exciting.
I think it's good. It makes it really relatable with the way you're able to, form that conversation, and I guess make it back to like what you ended with, made it really easy to understand, kind of how a simplified version of how autistic kids' brains work. Like you said we have other things we put thought into, but you know, that's that one thing that triggers that part in their brain that they're like, fuck yeah, this is the best thing ever, you know?
Yeah. This is like what I was designed for. And that's why a lot of people who are advocates for the autistic community are like, we need to integrate these children into our system a lot more. Like those are some of the best workers. Those are going to be the people that invent incredible life-changing things, because they don't have time for the whole social, you know, they don't have time to go out and talk to people. They don't have time for all that. They just want to focus on that one thing that makes them just head over heels. And that's honest. That's what we need as a society to function, to keep the gears turning and everything. You know, there's all these people with great ideas, but you need to find someone who's smarter than you and better than you that can get things done in a way that you can't. 9 out of 10 times, that's going to be a child with autism or someone that's somewhere on the spectrum, whether it's Asperger's. ADHD isn't technically on the spectrum, but like ADHD, I have very severe ADHD. You know, if you know me, you can probably tell. Like, spend an hour with me, dude, I'm everywhere. But it's very wholesome, like watching it. It's very humbling, realizing like I'm interacting with kids that have the potential to be absolute geniuses. It's just a matter of our system and our society learning to integrate them into our society in a healthy way that will allow them to, you know, really show their true colors and show what they can do for humanity. And I mean, I'm just super passionate about it. Might make a documentary. Who knows?
So what about Elon Musk? Do you think that he has maybe some type of, because like I feel like some of those kids, it's like a gift, you know, if they truly use it to create something in the world, it's a gift. So it is really, we look at it like it's bad. Like the universe doesn't see like, you know, like negative, positive, like that's already all energy anyways. So we see it as negative because that's like how us humans define that person because of, you know, their actions or like what they're diagnosed with. But deep down, like you said, they're geniuses. So do you really think like people like Elon Musk and like Nikola Tesla and stuff are like that? Because like that's why Nikola Tesla was doing hours and hours of like studying and going ham, like just like when it came to energy, that dude was just tapped in. Focus. So you think that's just what it is? They were born with it, and do you think that someone that maybe doesn't have that they can like maybe tap into something like that too, or is that, you know, something you're born with?
And the a lot of people, I can't say if Elon Musk is autistic or not. I don't want to say that. Like, I don't want to be like, dude, he's autistic, but he definitely, if you just see how he carries himself and how his social, like his mannerisms just in social settings, that's very telling of someone with autism. I wouldn't be surprised if he has, you know, some type of his brain is definitely wired completely different than ours are. I think we can agree on that. I don't want to say he's autistic because I really am not in a position to say that, but he definitely is someone that has a very incredible ability to create. And he's interesting to watch. Nikola Tesla too. It's very funny because like I said before, a big teller with people with autism is their social ability. So if they can maintain eye contact with you, or if they can't maintain eye contact with you, like they're always like this, or they can't really follow the conversation, or like you're trying to talk to them and it's kind of just like nothing's happening. Children with autism don't really engage in social behavior such as small talk, or, you know, they don't try to, you know, be friendly. Obviously they want to be, and it's like, obviously they want to be a part of their community, but they do it in different ways. So they won't. Another example is a kid I work with. He walks up to his parents and asks them to repeat certain phrases, like Minnie's eyes or blanket is red and stuff like that, randomly. And he does it very aggressively. And it's because that's his form of communication with his parents, because he doesn't know how to construct a normal conversation. He's still working on that. But at the same time, like these people, when I go back, I keep going back to that one specific thing that they have that they can hone in on. When I say they don't have time for that social interaction, that's because their whole entire energy is diverted towards what they're passionate about. That's why Nikola Tesla is spending days on end. He is an absolute genius, but then you go and talk to him and you're like, is this, I mean, I've never talked to Nikola Tesla, but I've just read stories. He had there's a thing out there, and don't take my word for this, but I had gone into some like deep depths of Reddit one time into Nikola Tesla, and they said that he was in like a relationship with pigeons, he really, really loved pigeons for some reason. So like that could also be another indicator. Like he, doesn't get the response from social interaction with other people that he does with pigeons or from his work, because they're all focused on maintaining that harmony within their nervous system because it's so overstimulated that when things come in, like let's say they, someone with autism goes and talks to someone that they don't like, they're not going to bullshit them. They're not going to try and carry on the conversation, make it seem like they like them. They're going to shut down, because if they're in an environment or in a situation that is not pleasant to them, that will hurt. Like literally it could physically hurt them. And then they don't know how to respond to that. So sometimes that's why you will see autistic kids get aggressive and they
like freak out.
Yeah, they start hitting themselves because they're like, I don't know how to respond to this. And actually, that it's not that it's like healthy. I wouldn't say it's healthy, but it's their coping mechanism. And if you don't let them engage in some type of behavior where they can take out that energy and redirect it, it's gonna get worse and worse as time goes on. Like I've seen some bad meltdowns in my time working for this company, dude. It's interesting, but it has, it's really humbled me and opened my eyes to a lot of things. Human beings are beautiful, dude. Every single kind. It doesn't matter what shape, form, color they come in, dude. They are all beautiful. And that's like the biggest thing I've learned is there is a lot to learn from someone in some type of way. And it is incredibly humbling.
I like how we just ran into it and fucking gave her full force, like gear fucking 7, not holding anything back.
Yeah. I just kind of take a dive and don't even think about it.
It was
you
good.
Did that well, bro.
I mean, obviously, we had you on, we're having you on this podcast for a reason, right? You talk about a lot of things in depth, right? For me personally, like when I talk to you about certain subjects, like literally when I hang out with you, my sole purpose is to listen to what you got to say. Cause I know you just got shit running. And it's really interesting. So I know a big part of your life is numerology, and you're a very spiritual person.
Yeah.
Which has rubbed off on me. I believe in meditation. I believe in meditative acts, like yoga. Potentially reading is potentially meditative, I guess, in a way, if you put it to that. But I do believe in those things. And the part that, you even said it before we started the podcast. You said something about the number 28. Since it's episode 28, you said something I didn't catch all of it, but I kind of want to hop into numerology. Obviously, if a person's, the overarching religion to probably someone listening to this is Catholicism, and the main number set that you can think of right away, at least for me, is 666. Right? That's, I guess, if you're not really into numerology that much, that's the one thing that comes to my head. But I know you know a lot more about the in-depths of numbers, like how your birth date based on numbers determines a certain situation. Like I know you did like a reading on me based on my birth date.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I think it was like the last time you and Brady were like
living together.
Yeah, no, I think Brady moved out, and it was with you.
That was literally the time when I dove into numerology. I stumbled across a page called his name's Gary Grenberg, dude. He's like the craziest motherfucker I think you'll ever meet. He is insane, but he's super into numerology. He's got a lot of very big connections. He's been censored on Twitter numerous times, and I always all of his tweets. I got his tweet notifications on. They have a whole community called GG33. He got big by making sports picks based off of numerology and Chinese astrology. He got big off of that. And then he got brought onto Sports Center and local news channels, and they just laughed him off the stage. This man, he's just posting pictures of his winnings from games and stuff. And I don't want to say it's a cheat code to life, because there's no way to cheat code life. And there's really no reason to try and figure everything out right now. That's why I kind of stepped back a little bit from numerology, because I fell into this pattern of, I need to figure out what all these numbers mean and why they mean this, so that I can understand what the hell is going on in my head and what's happening in my life. That was one of the most dangerous things I could have done, because then there are some times when I felt like I was almost schizophrenic. I was seeing repeating numbers everywhere. And it's like, you know, there's confirmation bias. Your mind is looking, if you learn something new, your mind's going to start looking for that thing to to get a better understanding of that new, you know, experience that you're gaining. And so I was looking everywhere, dude. And it was like really affecting me. And I like to, like, it was, bro, and I'm still kind of got, like, when you said it's the 28th, I'll get into the number 28 in a second. But numerology, just like astrology, it's something that you can use as kind of a guide or a blueprint to help you understand, you know, certain strong suits, or get to know yourself better. That is the number one reason that you should be looking into it, not to try and control your life, not to try and control everyone else's life, because that's just a bad path. You can't play God. You know, we can get into the whole you're a creator thing, you're a co-creator. So when you try to create, you know, and interfere with other people's creation process. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
Back on track here. Back on track.
Yeah. So
dropping bars though.
Thank you. So I'll just jump into the number 28 really quick, just because that's the most famous number, and it was actually that was like the first number that introduced me to numerology. The number 28 is the number of wealth. So Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, J.P. Morgan, a lot of banks were founded, or a lot of banks were founded on the date, the 28, or the actual date in itself adds up to 28. 28 is the number of wealth. People who are 28 life paths, you know, you're either born on the 28th, or, you know, your numerology adds up. You were born on the 28th? Dude. And it's, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Man, this is
a 28 life path.
You're gonna be diving down that shit just because all this shit.
Dude. And it's interesting because it changes for everyone. I met like 5 or 6 28 life paths in my life. And it's very funny because it's not that money just abundantly flows to you. You've always had billions of dollars, not billions, but, you know, I'm over exaggerating, but you've always had money at your disposal. I mean, that is to an extent, but at the same time, it's like money, or just whatever you need, finds you at almost like the most perfect time. And it's whenever you need it. And especially, Marselis, you're getting into Ethereum and all this shit. You already knew that you were going to be mega successful. Ever since I've known you were going to be mega successful. Not a lot of people I've met in my life have the drive and motivation that you do. And the people I have met that have the drive and motivation that you do are already really wealthy, or well on their way to being wealthy. But there's a reason that you're so, I don't want to say you're obsessed with money, because you're like one of the most genuine and pure human beings I've ever met. But you have just this knack to follow the money and continue looking for little ways that you can bring more and more money into your life, so that you can get the most experience out of this lifetime. And the 28 life path is all about fulfillment and getting the absolute best experience that you can get. Now, if there are people who are numerologists that are watching this and have some type of, you know, problem with what I'm saying, or think that I'm, you know, missing the mark here, please, like, reach out to me or comment and stuff. Obviously,
Instagram's down below.
Yeah, Instagram's down below. Like and subscribe. You're good 710. Thanks for the bets. Sorry, this is just an inside joke. It's just a toy joke. What's up?
So what about your podcast, bro? I know you go down the rabbit hole and you go get the rabbits, or not you get the rabbits and you get the freaking carrots. You come back, take them all the way back down and get more. Because I know you're always, you know, talking about different things that normal person doesn't talk about, like numerology. Hey, I think that would drive me crazy too, because I'm already looking at enough numbers as it is when it comes to the charts. And
dude, synchronicity is off the charts lately, especially being in the age of Aquarius. Sorry, it sounded like
you're good, bro. You're good, bro. You got my
like those astrology. Oh, and I killed a man because I'm a Capricorn.
Bro, I guarantee there's people out there that probably said that. Like,
no, I've met a lot of people that are like very toxic human beings, and they're just like, well, I'm a Scorpio, and you're like, what the fuck? No, you're a toxic person.
I know a Capricorn, bro.
Them are some interesting people. I'll say that much. They are some very interesting people.
When are you going to start your podcast again? Because I remember I texted you a while back, and you said, "Oh yeah, I'm starting it back up." And then, like, I asked why you ended it, and you said I just lost some motivation. And you said,
"Yeah,
starting."
That's what's happening. I'm not gonna beat around the bush, bro. It's just a priority and motivation thing right now.
100%.
It's just not something that I've I get bits of motivation, and I definitely plan on continuing it. But I also have a bad case of imposter syndrome sometimes. And I think that I'm like, I just don't feel like I'm ready right now to give myself that platform to talk on right now. There's so much more that I want to get more educated and whatnot before I dive into it. But I definitely plan on getting back into it very soon. It's just I more so need to. I want to be in a place where I feel comfortable, and my schedule too. I'm pretty packed out with my schedule. I'm playing a lot of soccer and got a girlfriend and stuff. I got stuff in the way, but I definitely plan on continuing my podcast. Sorry, I keep burping, like, excuse me.
They're fine.
But there are some things that I'm planning on doing, maybe rebranding it, keeping the Thoughts on the Rabbit Hole name though, dude. I love that name. I'm never changing that.
It's real.
But I do have my buddy Gavin Tuska, who's hands down one of the smartest people. Actually, something super interesting. He was Marselis. You may have met him, Jared. I don't know if you met him. He was in Quantum Creations. He was actually one of Ethan's first signups, and he was like one of my first really close friends. He was in Las Vegas. I don't know if you were there for that, Marcellus. Were you in Vegas?
That was right before I got started.
Okay,
I got started
that's right.
Dallas.
Okay, yeah. Gavin left shortly before Dallas. But he is like hands down one of my closest friends. I've like been, his whole I became incorporated in their friend group and stuff, and I love them all. But Gavin's birthday is September 11th, 1998, and my birthday is August 11th, 1999. And when you do the numerology for those, we have like the exact same numerology chart and all this stuff. And when you find, that's like a good indicator to, have you guys heard of Soul Tribe? Your soul tribe?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
The people, it's not like your soulmate, like the person you're supposed to marry and stuff, but it's like the people who are in your life for a very specific reason to help aid you on your journey, and you're also there for them too. Gavin, like that's a great indicator. Is you find someone with the same life path of you. They call those like I'm an 11 life path, and then they call it native. So there are other people who share my 11 life path, and I literally always get along with them. My girlfriend's an 8 life path. My nephew's an 8 life path. My other buddy, Thomas Mansour, who you guys definitely know, he's an 8 life path. My dad is a 6 life path. Cade is a 9 life path. Zach is a 7 life path. And the life path is basically like, it's in the name. It's your life's path, like kind of normal tendencies that you're supposed to have. So, Jared, when was your birthday again?
11/24/1998.
Okay, so you were born on a 6th day. 6, 7, 8, 9, 18.
He's doing the math.
Yeah, he's really calculating.
You're an 8 life path. That's right. Yeah, so very similar to Marcel. Wow, that's weird that you're a fucking 8 life path too. That's so weird. No, but very similar to Marcellus. 8 is the number of money and karma. So it's like it's
what goes around comes around.
8 on its side. Yes, perfect. What goes around comes around. What's up is down. The law of polarity. You have some awesome highs, but you also have some awesome lows. But at the same time, 8 is the number of abundance. So usually if I'm making this is like some superstitious stuff. But when I carry out a trade on either the stock market, crypto, I haven't really touched Forex for a little bit, but I plan on getting back into it. I set up an Osprey account recently. But I make it on 8 days. Let's say on the stock market, if I'm buying something, I buy 8 shares, or, I put in $35 into crypto, or I put in 25 or $28 every single week into crypto, just to, it's more of a superstitious thing. I don't think that you should base your life entirely off of numbers, but it definitely I'm just telling you right now from experience, just don't do that. Because there are people who do it, and don't get me wrong, like Gary Grinberg, living the life, but that dude has some shit going on in his head that I do not want to have going on in my head. Imagine constantly seeing numbers and feeling like they're talking to you. It's very weird.
That's probably that's just so overloaded. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fuck with
dude. Everything is overload. Everything that you could possibly go into, as a topic can be a sensory overload. But when you dive into pseudosciences, like astrology and numerology, it's like you feel like it's super intriguing, but at the same time you feel like your mind is just completely clustered with all this shit. You're constantly like hyper aware of all these things. It's almost like you feel, this sounds super bad, but I like mean this with the best of intentions. It almost feels like you're autistic because there's so many things that are coming at you at once that you're just like, fuck. See a repeating number there. You look down at your computer, you see 933, or like you just see all these like different angel numbers and whatnot. And that's why I kind of had to step away from it a little bit. But I mean, I have been lately I have been more so focusing on like just going and enjoying the sunrise and learning to kind of have control of my day, but also have a loose grip on my day too. Kind of just allow things to happen as they come while also being calculated and planned out, you know, kind of combining things with that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like it's very helpful having numerology and astrology in mind, because it's like, okay, I know that on, like on 11 days, it's going to be hyper emotional. You know, that's why 9/11 happened on 11 day. That's why World War II ended at 11/11 on an 11 day. 11 is a very, very emotional number. And I'm a super emotional person. So it's very nice for me to kind of like take a step back and be able to analyze like, okay, today on 11 day, you know, I'm not going to allow myself to get upset over things that are going to happen, because I've had some really fucked up shit happen. Another good example actually is the number 4. The number 4 is the number of law and order. When was America founded? Or it was when's
July
4th? Yeah, July 4th, Independence Day.
When's the 4th of July?
When's that? When's that? Yeah, when's the 4th of July? I have no idea. No, but it was founded on a 4-day. We have more correctional facilities than we do schools. You know, a little transparency here. I'm sure you guys know.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. And also, did you? You know, I've been arrested.
How does that go into the 4-day though?
Well, the number of law and order. It's the number of, you know, trying to think. Law and order, cops, police officers, stuff like that. Court system. So I've been arrested a pretty decent, you know, we don't need to, 4 times. And I got all the days that I got arrested on are on 4 days. So I got arrested on the 4th, 13th, and 22nd. I got arrested on the 22nd 2 times, which sucks. And then the courthouse that I went to is 444. It was the address of it. The Wood County Courthouse. If you look it up, it's 444.
Really?
So, yeah. It's very synchronistic when you start really diving into numbers and seeing how they naturally add up. It's not that people are doing it on purpose. It's that this is nature's way of constructing the universe. When you see the matrix and all the numbers fall down, that's where, if you want to get into the simulation theory, we're in a simulation and the numbers are what make up our simulation. They make up everything. That's how we identify the smallest thing in the universe, an atom. You know, we have a math equation for that. And then that's how you can, you know, gauge or what am I thinking? I completely blanked on the word I was thinking of, but that's how you're able to, you know, tell the height of a skyscraper, tell the height of a mountain and stuff. It can all be broken down and simplified into numbers, because numbers, like I said, are the genetic makeup of this entire universe that we live in. And we didn't create numbers at all. We stumbled upon it. We found numbers. And that's why I find it so interesting. That's why astrology needs to be taken a little more seriously too. We didn't create astrology. We didn't create the stars. If you read the Bible is riddled with a bunch of astrology. I can't get into that. It's called astrotheology. I'm still learning about that, but there's a great podcast. It's called the Tinfoil Hat Podcast. They have a guy named Micah Dank.
I love how they just embody that stereotype. That's amazing.
Oh my God, dude. And if you listen to, like, just go on there and scroll and just pick a random episode, and you're going to be dying, because the guy's named Sam Tripoli. He's a comedian. He's hysterical, but he has on some of the most insane people that have some of the most incredible information. That's like how I found Joe Rogan. Yeah, he's good friends with Joe Rogan. They're at the comedy club together.
You ever watched the YouTube channel called Gematria Effects News, where he goes in on like the numbers and stuff of like sports, like tragic events like COVID-19 stuff?
Was he the dude? Is he
He
kind
dropped a
of
book
like? Does
called
he?
Letters and Numbers.
Yeah. Does he always wear like a hat? And then he also like I watched one video where he picked up the phone and this guy was giving him death threats and he was just laughing because he called the like he was explaining the Super Bowl and shit and this guy has been leaving him a bunch of death threats.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I bet you he does get death threats though. It'll surprise me.
Dude, gematria is something I haven't even like. I got into numerology and I kind of touched on gematria, but I haven't even really dove into that because that's even more of a mind fuck. I follow a bunch of gematria accounts. I just like to see the other people do it, but it is like Gavin, my buddy Gavin, he's into it gematria a little bit. And there's a website that you can go to actually. I don't remember what it's called, but you can put in certain words and phrases and it'll match it up with the gematria of all these other words and phrases, and you can see synchronicities and events that happen and whatnot.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. And that's why I don't fully believe that every single thing that has happened to us has been planned now. You know, there are some things that are very clearly planned, like, you know, what's happening with our monetary system, what's happening with COVID. But there are other things. I said I don't want to.
Yeah, you said before we started you didn't want to bring it up.
It's just a perfect example. It came up. But there are some things that I think are so beyond our control, but are so blatantly obvious that it's, you know, it's organized by a divine order, and there are a lot of things that just happen that, you know, you can't really plan for, but it's so synchronized that it's just like there's no way to not believe in a higher power, some type of higher intelligence that is orchestrating everything that's happening to us right now.
Mm-hmm. Are you still jumping in ice cold water for fun?
I take cold showers. I haven't been jumping in ice cold water for a little bit.
Like lakes and shit. I know you jumped into Lake Michigan a lot.
Yeah, I was doing that for a little bit. Yeah. I mainly just take I'll take a shower and then at the end I go about 2 or 3 minutes just in the cold. You get the same exact effect. When I found that out, I was like, damn, I'm kind of wasting my time. Like, it's cool going.
I'm driving all the way to fucking Lake Michigan.
Yeah, like, I'm getting out fucking. I'm like, nah, this is different. This is different. This is gonna make me over 9,000 power if I go jump in the lake compared to if I just sit in the shower for 2 or 3 minutes in the freezing cold too. But yeah, I haven't really gotten myself up to go jump in the lake.
Do you know the channel Yes Theory?
Yeah, I saw their
Wim Hof episode. Okay, yeah,
he's such a funny guy. He is so funny.
He's so fucking weird, bro.
He's ridiculous. Like, he is absolutely ridiculous. Who in their right mind is going for a walk after and you know, his story is beautiful and like I'm very grateful for Wim Hof. He's amazing. But who in their right mind when their wife just like kills himself just is like, I'm gonna go jump in that frozen lake right there. I'm gonna just try it out. And then he develops this incredible beat. Like, it was destined to happen. Yeah. That's one of those things that's like, that's divine order working right now. Because
Marselis, you gotta watch that video. The channel is Yes Theory.
So funny.
And it's the Wim Hof one. Basically, the channel is like, do you know Yes Theory?
No.
Okay, basically the channel is like a group of, is it 4 or 3? I think it's 4.
Yeah, I think it's 4.
4 guys. And obviously they team up with like some of the other like travel YouTubers or whatever you want to call them. But people are in the same area as them and they go to like weird fucking places. Like they travel as a group to like weird. I know one I watched recently, they were in Guatemala and they saw the largest, I guess it's deemed the largest pyramid in the world. It's an old Mayan pyramid that's like covered up. But anyways, so like that's like the type of travel shit they do. But basically this video, they all go in like Wim Hof's training. Like they go to like Wim Hof's house or place or whatever you want to call it, compound in Poland, and they like go through his legit fucking like hardcore training. And like the last part of their training, they're walking in on a fucking mountain with underwear and boots in a fucking blizzard.
Yeah, I seen that shit. Yeah, I seen
like
that.
It just makes
some
me
hardcore
nervous.
Shit.
It makes me nervous watching it. Like, but I know like it takes.
That's what we were made for, though.
It takes so much mental power to like to go from where I'm at now. I guarantee like it would take something different for me to fucking do that. But like obviously it's possible. But like that's the crazy shit about it. Like we're able to do that. Like you can, I could think that I'd never be able to do that, and lo and behold, those other fucking people are able to do that. So like.
Bro, when I got Asa and Ryan Schaefer to go out, you know Ryan Schaefer, bro. Getting that man to jump in ice cold water, very difficult. But then I got him to do it. Yeah, I got him to do it, bro, and it was the most hysterical thing, because people like when I tell my girlfriend, you know, one time I was like just taking a cold shower and she heard me breathing and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm taking a cold shower." And she's like, "Why do you do that?" And I mean, like, she understood, but she's like, "Why would you, like, I don't understand why you would want to take a cold shower." I'm like, "Because it just makes me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
My days go by so much easier." Especially I did tree removal for a good little while, like probably 7 or 8 months. And dude, like, to be motivated enough to want to get up and go to work and sit next to a chipper for like 9 to 12 hours, you gotta, like, you know, you gotta hype yourself up. And I absolutely love that job, don't get me wrong. It was like really fun, got in some crazy good shape, had some really good laughs. But like when the going got tough, like that cold shower saved me, because I'm like, well, I took a cold shower this morning. I'm kind of like, you don't feel invincible, but you got a little extra pep in your step.
Mm-hmm.
And it is interesting because there's on a very like a genetic level, we're designed to withstand the cold. That's, you know, why we have facial hair. That's why we have bodily hair. That's why we're able to react the way we do when we get into the water, just as we're able to survive in supreme heat. Like Wim Hof has another video where he's walking through the desert, just going for miles and miles and miles with no water or anything.
Didn't he run a marathon in the desert?
Yeah, with no water.
No water, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's superhuman. And to get to that point, I mean, you have to put your body through some serious genetic modification, through some serious training. It's not easy. Obviously, it's not supposed to be. But it also goes to show that the human's ability to do things is, that's why me and you and Marselis are talking right now on this video call, and why, you know, there's a raccoon that's going through my trash can right now. Like we are the most evolved species out there. We're the best in the game. But like we have the ability.
We're the goats of that evolution.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're the goats of evolution. Yeah, okay. No, but it is, I mean, we are designed to evolve, improvise, adapt, overcome. That's what Bear Grylls always says, and that's what I say usually when I'm drunk. But you know, we're designed to be like, to evolve to our situation, to evolve to our standards. That's why usually the worst things that you have gone through, you still come out on top, and it honestly makes you a little bit of a better person, because your body is learning. It's like trial and error. It's like, you know,
the craziest thing that happens. Sorry if it seems like I'm cutting you off. It just came into my head. The craziest thing that happens when they're doing like the starter like breathing exercises, when they're laying down in like a sleeping bag or like in blankets or whatever, is when they do the breathing exercises, like their body has never dealt with that much oxygen going through the system like that, and they like start seizing, they start fainting, like just the reactions that the body takes to cope with the different sense and like the different like flow of everything is insane. Yeah. Like that scares the fuck out of me. Like I know.
Remember when we did it?
Yeah. It was I was gonna say, like we sat in your living room, like 5 of us, 6 of us, and we did breathing and meditation for like 30 minutes. And it was awesome. It was awesome. Sweet. It was amazing.
I remember your sister was like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "Why don't you guys just smoke weed and play video games?"
That's exactly what she said.
Like after the meditation.
That's exactly what she said.
That was so funny.
She's like, "Why can't you guys be like normal humans? Like, why can't you be like normal teenagers and just smoke weed and play video games?"
Normal's boring.
Huh? Yeah, dude.
Normal's boring.
Bold of you to assume I'm normal.
Who do we watch? We watch the people that defy the odds, the ones that go out and do great things, like Wim Hof. Sure. Like, damn, it would be nice to watch Wim Hof freaking smoking a blunt and see how much smoke he can blow in. I mean, some people probably get joy out of that, but not everybody.
I enjoyed it when I was 17. You know, I had a good time with that. all of my Instagram accounts were like 420 shit. It was just like, you did
have a big weed phase back in like your late teens.
I wouldn't, I'd say I kind of weaned myself out of that. Like, I mean, I still obviously enjoy it, but I'm not so like caught up in it, dude. It was bad. Yeah, I mean, but it was fun. at the top. I mean, that's basically how it brought me to the person that I am today, was getting carried away with weed, and then ultimately getting carried away with other things, and learning what it was like to be able to make my own decisions, and learning that I wasn't the best decision maker in the world.
Mm-hmm. We gotta get you on one of these times to talk about psychedelics.
Oh yeah.
But like specific, because I know that conversation can go a while, and if I know we're having that conversation, yeah, exactly.
I'm not an expert in any way. I just enjoy it, and I keep a journal that I like to keep my notes in on what I learned and everything. So I definitely would love to be on another podcast just to talk about that.
I just have to do, like, I would have to prepare myself and do the research so I can actually contribute to the conversation.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
But like my interest is in that, like 100%. Like what was the YouTube channel we used to watch when we were at your house? We would get fucking high as shit and just sit on your couch and watch a YouTube. It was like a lot of fractal like shit. It was like talking about the Buddha and like
the Buddha. Yeah, no, it's literally called Buddha.
Oh, really?
It's on Gaia. Yeah, it was like the spiritual YouTube. Yeah, Gaia is amazing. It's like Netflix. Okay. Yeah, dude. Marselis, I think you have Gaia. I saw you liked it on Facebook, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know Mike Navarrete put me on Gaia.
I'll be real with y'all. How I got on Gaia, I had Trey with Matthew's freaking password. Shout out to Trey with Matthew, man. I was going on a phone call with him. His fucking vibes are amazing.
Dude, I love Trey with Matthew. He's a funny dude.
Dude is so spiritual, cool, calm, collected, and he can talk to you about aliens. He can talk to you about psychedelics. He talks to you about trading. He can talk to you about weed. He can talk, bro, everything. And gosh, like you and him kind of.
I'll never forget that day when me, Matthew, and Mike Navarrete or Mike Miles were at that rooftop in Dallas, and we were all chatting.
I was there.
That was so crazy. That's when I introduced Mike to QAnon, which I don't. I'm not a QAnon believer anymore. I think that was all bullshit.
Damn,
not all of it.
Up real quick.
It's not all of it. It's nice to speculate about it though.
I think I mean, I definitely think it's built on a foundation of truth, but I feel like the whole Trump is going to save the world sham. I think that was a sham, because they kept dropping dates like something big was going to happen, and nothing big ever happened. And I know that I was so Jared, you know how I was like QAnon.
Yeah. I remember I'd come down a couple times with Walkie when I'd see Courtney, and we'd like go out to eat or something, and like that's just the thing. That was the thing, like to get caught up.
Always,
like, hey,
always.
Yo, did you hear what else is coming out? Like, I mean, I was interested. It was funny. Like, it was
super interesting, and there are some things that
nice
to
listen to. It was cool.
And like I said, it's built on a foundation of truth, but it got too much publicity, and it turned into this whole. It almost seemed like a psyop. Because there are things that they were releasing that were like, oh, that actually Epstein. That was a thing from QAnon that gave it credibility. But then it started turning and then some of the followers of QAnon, bro, I was getting
toxic.
They're so toxic because they're just like, you don't know what I know. You haven't seen the things I've seen on the internet. I'm like, why? What are you talking about?
Would you buy your subscription to the dark web or what?
Yeah, cool. You got it on Silk Road. Congratulations. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to be bashing QAnon because I was a firm believer in QAnon, and I still believe that there are some things that are still going on, and it did reveal a lot of things, and the whole Illuminati stuff, that's not bullshit, but I think that the whole QAnon was a marketing situation.
Oh, that's
I
one
think
thing
everyone knows it too. It's not even being hidden anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even care. At this point, I saw an interesting theory that it was as the way that karma works is the way that they're able to do these super evil things is by putting it out in plain sight so that the masses subconsciously what the fuck am I what was the word I was looking for?
They subconsciously know it's there.
I guess.
Accept it.
Yeah, they subconsciously allow it to happen because okay, that was in plain sight. Now I didn't pick that up. My conscious brain, my ego didn't pick that up. But your subconscious mind picks up everything. That was a theory, and I need to reiterate. I don't think I need to reiterate. I'm not an expert on this stuff. It's all speculative. But I do believe that they are putting out shit. to kind of take off that karma, because karma is a legitimate thing. Even people who don't believe in a higher power, they definitely have to believe in karma. That's an undeniable law. That's like an objective truth right there.
Mm-hmm.
What goes
What
around?
about Lil Nas X?
Huh?
What about Lil Nas X with this shoe and devil blood and the pendant on the front of it and 666 and the verse on the side where the devil has fallen from heaven and dropping 666 pairs of shoes and all this stuff. And then you see that video, he was twerking on the devil. You see that? Oh
yeah, you don't even.
It was a whole.
How dare they do that?
It was a whole.
Man.
It was a whole like the creative process behind it. I watched an interview on it, and basically like the haters of him were like saying like pretty much bashing him because he's either gay or bisexual, one of those two.
He's either pumping and humping at the same time. He's getting pumped and he's whatever. I don't know what he is, but I know that the nigga is not straight. Put it that way. Anyways,
it was basically
that's his choice if he wants to do that. But
it was
I mean,
like
I think the whole Satanism thing. That's there. I mean, in that video, it's a lot. There's a lot deeper symbolism, even deeper than the satanic symbolism. Like Aleister Crowley's half circle pentagon thing. Aleister Crowley was like a big Satanist and occultist, and he's like a wild man. Like if you listen to some of his audio tapes, they're just weird. Super smart dude, but he had a lot of those symbols on there, and I don't know, I can't remember. It was like this stone tablet where it had all these different symbols on there. A lot of those symbols are occult symbols. Like it was almost like it was a ritual that was being carried out. They don't give a shit that like the whole Satan thing, that like screw you. There's a bunch of people who've had Satan in their video. That's literally nothing new. It's just Lil Nas is gay, and people have a problem with the fact that he's so flamboyantly gay that he's twerking on the devil, and they're releasing it to their kids. I'm not even gonna try and touch on that because I don't feel like I'm in a position to be able to give an opinion that I believe people should listen to, because my opinion is my opinion about that.
The song's a banger.
I'm not going to buy the shoes. I'm not going to buy the shoes, and I'm not going to rewatch the video. I watched the video out of curiosity, and as soon I was like, this ain't for me. I'm just going to turn it.
The song is a banger though.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem.
That's the crazy
Every
shit.
single song that's a banger has a god awful music video that's embedded with stupid symbolism, and you're like, come on, man! Like I was
the person who okay,
like The
Weeknd. from a creative mind here, right? I don't need to iterate that. You guys know I've been designing for a while. But,
The Weeknd's
from a creative mind, watching the video, it is a creative masterpiece.
Yeah.
The different there's like 3 different scenes in it. It's pretty much 99% CGI. All the creation process of that is fucking insane. The visuals, the quality of it, like visually, the quality of everything, the transitions. Oh, it was edited and put together so fucking well. But I do agree. Like,
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, dude. Like, even though it's evil, I don't want to say evil.
Go for it.
But even though it's like it gives off a negative energy, you have to be able to accept the fact that even though it's kind of weird, very provocative, it is a masterpiece. There are a lot of things that people put out that have really, really dark imagery. That was weird. I was like burping and talking. Dark imagery, but is also at the same time very beautiful, that someone could even construct that with their mind. I hate horror movies with a burning passion. I think that they're shit, and I hate them because I get scared, and I'm a complete pussy about it. I hate it. But I was watching Midsummer, which apparently
it's so good.
Yeah, apparently the TikTok community fucking hates it. That's why I deleted TikTok.
It's so
but
good.
It was, people were like, oh, it's so stupid. Dude, they hate everything. But I was watching, I'm like, damn. Like, this is deeply disturbing, but it's like the fact that people are anytime I'm watching any type of show or watching anything that can be considered a work of art, or even just listening to music, I always am just baffled by the fact that, we're just able to figure that out, and that we're able to just bring that to life and make a movie like Midsummer, which is like really grotesque and just.
It's based off. But it's based off of like real. Was it Scandinavian rituals, like tribal rituals?
Like pagan rituals.
Yep.
It's very
Marselis,
weird.
if you haven't seen that movie, it's super fucking good.
It's actually not as scary as I was anticipating. It's more so
it's like
disturbing.
Psyche almost. Like
it just messes with your psyche. But dude, now I'm not a human sacrifice advocate in any way, shape, or form.
What did I sign up for?
No, I'm not.
I'm about to diss the red hat because it's red. I'm like,
yeah, Marselis, it's your hat, bro. That's the eye of the beast. That's not Ethereum. No, but I'm not in any way, shape, or form advocating it, but it is very interesting considering how relevant it is in human history.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't deny the fact that there's sacrificing happening all the time, whether it's animals. And honestly, Hamilton Morris, I have to say, I always thought animal sacrifice was the most disturbing and disgusting stuff. Up until Hamilton Morris brought up, he's the guy who does Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia, where he goes around and tries different psychedelics, and he's a chemist, and like, it's super good. He actually did a bit with Wim Hof. But he's saying, he's like, animal sacrifice is actually a much more humane way of eating your meat, because when they, let's say they sacrifice a chicken, they sever the head, but then they cook all the meat, they use every single part of that chicken, and it was sacrificed to a god or whatever they're sacrificing it to, compared to, I go buy a cheeseburger, I just sacrifice that animal for my own pleasure, type stuff. And I'm gonna piss some people, not pissing people off, I'm not a vegan. But
that's a good way to put it, though. Like it's that's a good way to put it. I guess,
no doubt.
I've never like thought about that like logically a little bit,
Yeah.
Like we're just using animals for our own consumption rather than the spiritual effect that.
Well, yeah, dude, and imagine how much better that meat is going to be if you take the animal and sacrifice it to some god that you're worshiping that accepts that, and you use it, and it's a ceremony, and it's all almost a spiritual experience, as dark and weird and twisted as it may seem to us, compared to, bro, you walk into McDonald's and then you see them making the burger, and then you get a flashback to the video where you see like all the cows in those massive corporate farms, and you're like, damn, like this is gonna be good meat. Like, it's not happy, it's not, and that's why, like, farm raised cattle, and like, I think if there's obviously, like, if you're not vegan, I definitely think that, and I'm, my health is fluctuating between good and bad all the time, and I'm a work in progress in that aspect, but I do have a little brother who's very, very deep into nutrition, and he's a big believer on beef liver and consuming meats, but making them prepared on your own, and making sure that those meats are properly raised compared to going and eating like a McDonald's burger or fast food or processed meat, because that's not actual meat that you need. And also, I do believe that your blood type does play a role in the types of foods that you should be eating. And like, if you get a blood test, that's and an ancestry DNA test, you can kind of pinpoint what your diet should be revolving around, in terms of, like, let's say that, I don't want to try and get into nutrition, bro, because I'm literally just reciprocating this whole lecture and spiel that Cade gave to me about this whole nutritional aspect. Same with Roman Tibbet, actually. He had a 100% point about it. But it's, the more you know about yourself and you eat foods that are native to your ancestors and native to your DNA, your health is going to be a lot better than if you're trying to force different types of foods down your throat. That's why some people respond so horribly to Indian food. They can't handle the curry, like me. My last name is McManus. I'm pretty much Irish, German, and Norwegian. My body does not process Indian food correctly in any way. And I can't smell, so I do have that kind of blessing going for me. So I don't have to smell the stuff that comes out, but it's not pretty. Sorry, that's so disgusting. I'm so sorry. So sorry we just went down that road.
Marselis, you've been kind of been making faces the last 20 minutes. What do you want?
We're talking about some weird shit, dude. I totally understand.
That's what our listeners is doing right now. Like, yeah, this is a different podcast.
It is, dude.
Okay.
I told you every time Hunter comes on, like, we get into some shit, bro. Like,
99% of the time, I never know what I'm going to talk about with most people. It just kind of all happens. I don't think anyone really does. I don't think you ever go into a conversation knowing exactly how the dialogue is going to go.
That's so true. That's very true. But I mean,
Wow.
we're getting up to that consistent hour mark that we try to stay at, so it doesn't get a little too long, you know. But I mean, like I already asked, I mean, we got to get you on again talking about specific topics. Especially
definitely.
Part 2.
yes, 100%. We need to
I
get you
love
on
you part 2.
talking about fucking psychedelics, talking about fucking shit based off what we talked about today. We could talk about probably 6 or 7 different things and be okay with it.
Yeah. If we have a main topic that I can focus on, it's a little bit more structured. But I'm telling you, dude, like, you guys know how bad my ADHD is. I mean, I'm sure if you listen to the podcast and listen to a majority of my other podcasts, I bounce all over. And if you can, keep up and follow with that, I appreciate you and I love you a lot, because it stresses me out when I'm bouncing all over the place and feel like nobody's paying attention to what I'm saying. That's why I love my girlfriend so much, man. That's why I love my girlfriend. Shout out to my girlfriend, because she keeps up with a lot. She's amazing.
All right. Well, I mean, shit. I'm grateful for you being able to come on. It was awesome. It was awesome to.
Oh, I'm so grateful you asked me. It's so nice seeing your guys' face and talking to you again.
Marselis, why don't you hit us with the outro and then we can get going, huh?
All right, guys. Before we got on this podcast, I was singing the song "See You Again." Oh my gosh, we had a true legend hop on. I am so happy and grateful to have this man on our podcast. So, guys, if you want to connect with my boy Hunter McManus, go down below, go to his Instagram, go follow him on every single thing, even listen to his podcast as well, because we're here for abundance. So, we're going to shout out to everything. Also, guys, there were some nuggets in there. So listen to this again if you want to go back and, go down a rabbit hole. He did it. He did it again. So I'm just happy and grateful, guys. Also plug in with our clothes. We're coming with a new essential collection soon. Oh my gosh, stay tuned for that. That's going to drop on the 2nd.
April 2nd, if this comes out before it, odds are when this comes out, it'll already be out. So go peep the website. It'll be down below. Triumph Essentials.
Hell yeah.
Join the Triumph Defeat group chat, because we blowing that up with positivity and motivation every freaking day.
Oh, that's one of my favorite groups I'm part of. It's so nice just seeing Marselis and then Jared. And then sometimes, sorry, I'll let you finish your
It's good. No, it's good.
Shout out to Jared Johnsrud for his post about how much he's been working out on himself, dude. That was motivating.
That was money, bro.
To see that.
That was money. But yeah, look testimonial on our Facebook group right here. It's perfect.
Let's go.
Anyway, sorry, Marcellus. Keep going.
We got to start shouting people out on the podcast every day. But anyways, guys, look, if you're at the end of this right now, listen to this. I know you just went down for a ride or whatever. You may take some time to process some things that was said in this. But guys, just understand that this world has a balance of evil just as good. So don't be naive and think that there's not bad things going on in this world. Get up, triumph over defeat. Y'all have a good one. And this was episode 28, the number of wealth. All right, you guys. Peace.
Let's go. Peace, y'all.
Peace.